I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going. Can't lose focus. I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going.
Red Corner Boxing. We're in the game.
Yes, guys, and very welcome to Red Corner Boxing here on this magical night. We have a very special guest. We've got the one and only Gary Spike O'Sullivan joining us. How are you, Spike?
Good, lads, yourselves?
Really good, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to get you on. I've been trying to get you on for a good while, as you well know. We finally made it happen. I really appreciate your time. Just how's things been of late, mate? All good?
Good, yeah. I was back fighting there recently and got the win, so happy with that. Feeling quite good still, and
yes,
hoping to continue for a while to come.
Sounds good, mate. It sounds good. Well, I was going to ask you, I always ask a generic question, Spike, so forgive me, mate. I always start with, what got you into boxing, matey, and at what age did you start taking up boxing as a sport?
Yeah, my father got me into boxing at the age of 5, started doing pads at home with him, and he'd sit on the couch and we used to spar a bit, and he'd be throwing punches and get me into, slipping the jab and countering with the right and stuff like that. So I've boxed since as long as I can remember. I've been boxing my entire life.
That's
36
years. I was going to say, Spike, didn't your parents have a gym?
Did it indeed, yeah, that's right, Steve. We had a boxing club called Loch Mahon from the area. I'm from Mahon. It's quite successful, actually, very, very successful. We had 13 national champions from the area, and we've quite a good standard here in Ireland in the amateur scene. So, it was happy, good days.
Yeah,
it was great.
We didn't want you hiding that fact, Gary. We didn't want you hiding that fact. I had to get that out of you because that was a pretty successful gym. And obviously it produced your good self as well. Did you feel that upbringing give you that extra bit of knowledge within the industry that other boxers would come in later, might not have? Did you have more inside knowledge than most?
I think so, yeah. You kind of got a better what was I going to say? Like, I guess
understanding of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, you had the technique from such a young age, and just used to it, I guess. Geez, I know I'm a bit tired, and not the sharpest at the minute. But yeah, I think it definitely benefited me, and it's been something I've been doing all my life, really. And it's a bit like almost walking to me, I guess. I can fight, I can box. I've been doing it my entire life, and it's something I do. So I think it has benefited me, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we'll move on to your first major title. You won the Irish middleweight title, which is a huge title, of course, when you beat Robert Long you TKO'd him in the first round at the National Stadium in Dublin. How did that feel, mate, to win such a title in the National Stadium? That must have been a momentous occasion in your life and in the sport of boxing for you.
I'll tell you what, Jam, that's a slight bit wrong. I'll tell you, I actually won it against a guy called Kieran Healy, who was from Belfast. I won it in Cork, and I was actually my first 9 bouts I had at light middleweight, at junior middleweight. I was a light middleweight 154 fighter, and I got the offer to step up the middleweight and fight for the Irish title, and it was too big an opportunity to turn down. It sounded good to me. I think the middleweight is the best division in the sport, and to follow great champions like Steve Collins and Andy Lee as Irish middleweight champion, it really appealed to me, and so I stepped up, took the opportunity. I won the fight. The fight you referred to there against Robbie Long, that was actually a defence of the title in Dublin. I knocked Robbie in 1 round. Actually, got a funny story about Robbie. He lives in Boston now. He's a chef. He's retired from boxing quite a long time, and I was fighting in Boston one time, and he knew obviously, the complications of making weight, etc. So he made me a lovely meal, himself and his wife. I called over to his house the night before the weigh-in for a meal. He made me such a nice meal, really healthy.
That's what you want.
We still stay in contact, actually, myself and Robbie.
Apologies for my mistake there, Spike. Apologies for that, mate. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know why. I thought that was when you won it. I thought you defended it second, but I've obviously got that mixed up. So, Mr. Neutral, you go next, mate, because I've just completely fumbled the bag there already. Apologies on that, Spike.
No worries, man.
It ain't the first time either, mate. I make a habit
Well,
of this,
first
honestly.
and
I really
foremost,
do.
We must be related. I
well,
said
first
One of
and
them
Jock
days,
Ball,
mate.
foremost,
but
One of them
I've got
days.
to ask Spike, does the nickname come from the hair back in the day?
no, I
That's
never
the
had much
first
hair to be quite
question.
honest. Although that's a lie, actually, I had loads of hair when I was a toddler, but it's curly hair. That's where the curls and the mustache come from. But no, it was actually a friend of my father's actually gave me the nickname. He came to the maternity hospital and just called me Baby Spike randomly, and it just kind of stuck on. My parents, they christened me Gary. That's hence the name Gary Spike was all I mean, but my parents always called me Spike. But you know, that's where it came from. He's a friend of my father's. My dad was in the army and the Irish Army, and he made his call up to the barracks or sorry, to the hospital, the maternity hospital, and called me Baby Spike, and just stuck on. So we took before I left the hospital, I was Spike, but got christened Gary.
It's funny that you know that your mother calls you Spike.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Everybody.
it's usually a friend given nickname, and then obviously
Yeah,
you know, because of that story, it comes from very much closer to home. Right, well, let's talk about Chris Eubank Jr. He's fighting this weekend, as you well know. Um, Tell us about that fight with him, and tell us how you felt afterwards. Just what was going through your mind in your personal life after that fight.
Um, well, I pursued that fight. I thought I could beat him. I was quite wrong in the end. I watched a couple of his earlier fights. It didn't look that impressive, but he improved drastically. I think a bit like Conor Benn actually. Conor Benn looked kind of shit in the earlier parts of his career. He's improved significantly. Maybe you know,
A little egg
with a bit of
contaminated,
a
shall we
health.
say?
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to that. We'll get to that. But about your
yeah.
thoughts on that. But after the fight itself, what what kind of state of mind were you in? Because that was your you taking a loss to Billy Joe Saunders as well. You fought them.
Yeah.
Looking at your resume, Gary, I'm not being funny. When you got Billy Joe Saunders and you've got Chris Eubank Jr., David
Alexander
Lemieux,
Lara, Jaime Munguia.
Jaime Munguia, Lara, um, Bellinabru.
He took the best on.
That you've got to say, I've not seen a better resume of people who fought. That you fought. Much better than that over the
Yeah.
last 2 or 3 years. It's an impressive resume. £160. You must be proud of it.
Yeah. Well, I am particularly not being a natural 160. I think, especially when I set out at the beginning, I think it's a bit. It suits me now at this stage when I'm 41 to make 160 is kind of better. I don't know if I'd make 154 again at my age now, but yeah, my manager, my trainer, Pascal Collins, he always said the same thing about me. He always said like no matter who he ever. I live in Cork. He lives in Dublin. He called me up and says, "Spike, will you fight such and such a guy?" He always knew what the answer was going to be.
Yes.
I always fight anybody really. I'm not afraid of anybody really. I'll have a go. I'll have a fight.
That's it. To be going back to the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, Spike, I actually picked you for that. I genuinely thought you were going to knock him out. He looked trash. You were on fire. I thought you were going to do him. I was devastated
Yeah,
when you lost to Chris Eubank Jr. I really was.
Yeah, I nearly did knock him out as well. He's got a good chin. He does. In fairness,
has.
and yeah, maybe it's deteriorating as because actually when I fought him in 2015, he missed weight. He had to go in, drain off a bit, like lose a bit again, which is 10 full years ago.
Like he did the last fight. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it for quite a while, I think. But I know with age, it gets harder and harder. As I said, I could make 154 my first 9 fights quite easily. I don't know. I don't think I'd make it again now. All these years later. But I think with the Eubank fight, the rehydration clause is the biggest issue. And I think if something happens to that guy, it's on the likes of Eddie Hearn and Conor Benn's team. If something really bad happens, Chris Eubank
And
Jr.
the sanctioning body, of course, who sanctioned it,
I
under
think,
those circumstances.
I think Chris Eubank Senior has a valid point. He's worried. He's already lost one son, and you know,
Especially with the news today,
Yeah.
Spike, as well, that Chris Eubank's got twin boys on the way. That's been announced today. He's got twin sons on the way. So
I
another
didn't know
reason for
that.
him not to
Right.
get too badly battered. You know what I mean? We don't want him getting too
Yeah.
hurt, do we?
No,
You know,
Yeah.
Scott,
I mean,
so,
let's get back to Conor Benn. Now, you know, the inevitable question is, I mean, and you've been very open about this, Gary, about let's say boxers who have not been playing by the rules, shall we say? And
Yeah.
you're very vocal
Mm.
about peg testing and all the rest of it. I mean, are you unconvinced about Conor Benn still?
100%. Yeah, I am very unconvinced. You know, I don't know. And even Eubank Senior said at one point when he walked in the dressing room, he said on Talksport with Simon Jordan, he said he walked in the dressing room when his son was getting an injection from Adam Booth when he was fighting me. You know, so and I think Eubank Senior said he kind of kicked up fuss with Adam Booth and told him he wasn't qualified that minutes for any drugs, no matter what. It's still illegal anyway. You know,
Yeah.
some people, you know, on social media were saying, "Oh, it was a bloody some sort of a cortisone or something like that for his knuckles were at him or some shit like that." But nonetheless, it's still illegal, you know. So anyway, I don't know. Fuck it.
yeah.
Yeah, because it numbs pain. It numbs pain. So one would think that with numb shots
It's a
at
form
the
of
same
beating,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's neither here
Well,
nor there. But I mean, it's good to know that you've got a very strong voice against drug use in sport. What measures would you like to see, you know, happen to boxers who do fail drug tests?
I think there should be a lifetime ban. That's the only thing that will actually make sure that people that they won't do it, because the little slap on the wrist, the little financial fine or whatever that may be, it's not enough of a deterrent. They need to be a lifetime ban, because I think you know, people die in boxing every year and people get, you know, brain damage severely, etc. You know, so it's too dangerous a sport to be cheating. You know, if you're playing bloody, I don't know, pole vaulting or
It's
bloody
not cricket,
sprinting,
is it? Yeah.
exactly. You know, it's the hurt business, like, and there's enough damage done without it. You know, I really feel strongly
Yeah.
about it in boxing. That would be banned further.
Absolutely, I agree 100%, Spike, as well. It's just so dangerous. People like Alicia Bumgardner, people like Conor Benn, just sweep it under the rug and just carry on because they've got a bit of clout and a bit of cash. It's not the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
they should be hung
It
up.
doesn't
You know,
help. It doesn't
Yeah,
help when
it
sanctioning
happened.
bodies like WBC give them exemptions under their own
that's it.
investigations, which they can't really do because they don't do the drug tests.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there's not enough being done all around? You know,
Yeah, well,
between the
I
whole.
feel as though, I feel without doubt there's not nothing done. They should be banned. Lifetime ban is the only answer, for in my opinion. And you know, it's just money. Money talks, and all the governing bodies, promoters, and all that. They're all in it for the money, obviously. So they don't
Yeah.
care enough, really.
Hence Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia. But look, let's get back to you, right? I want to ask you a tough question. What was your hardest loss, and which one affected you the most?
Jesus Christ. Well, my last defeat, really, a guy called Sofian Cathy, proved to be quite a good fighter. He went and knocked out Nathan Heaney as well, but he tested positive for something as well after that fight, actually, funnily enough. But that was a tough one to take, because for just one reason, my children were there, and it was the first time they ever attended my boxing match in their lives. It was my 37th fight.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a tough one for me. But I damaged ribs going into it. I probably shouldn't have fought. Hindsight's a great thing, but I did, and I did. I fought a couple of times over my career with injuries. I got away with it. Every other time is the truth. I just didn't get away with it that night. It was a significant injury in my ribs. I went for an X-ray. They weren't broke, but they were like fucking ligament damage or something like that. Some shit. It felt worse than a break. I had broken my ribs before, but this actually felt worse, even though they weren't broken. and it hindered me massively. Fuck my power. My left side was fucked. It was on my right.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, on my left side here. Oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
a disaster.
And talking of
you know.
injuries, you've got one right now as well. I can see you're all bandaged up there. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Actually, funnily enough, I did that 15 days before my last fight, but I was flying out the very next day to Atlantic City for the Boxing Hall of Fame Awards, and so I flew over. I done what bit of training I could do whilst I was in Atlantic City for a couple of days, and got back and just kind of soldiered on through the training. And I just had to, the bicep was damaged and I had to get it reattached. So the cast on now. The cast on for a couple of weeks. But they reckon I'll get back to full fitness. The surgeon said the operation went very well, and they expect me to make a full recovery and back with them tomorrow, actually. And I'm hoping they'll cut the cast off to want to get back to the gym. Well, I'll have to take it easy with the gym for a while, but I want to do other stuff that I can do in the gym. But it's just with the cast on, I haven't been in the gym for 2 weeks now because it's just itchy and sweaty and shit like that. So if I sweat even more in the gym, it's going to be work again.
You want to get a knitting needle down there or something?
Get a little metal coat hanger in there.
Yeah, sticking all sorts of things in there, rulers, biros, fucking
that's
knives.
Anything you get your hands on, Spike, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fucking, it's a pain it is.
Definitely. I was going to ask you another thing, mate. Have you seen about Paulie Malignaggi and people like that entering the BKFC?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That'd suit your kind of fighting style. Have you thought about that? Would you like to get mixed up in that stuff?
No. I think I could actually be really, really good at it. I punch very hard, and my style, stylistically, like I think if I fought, I think Malignaggi's a bit smaller than me anyway, to be fair, but I think I'd absolutely fucking smash him, like big time, I'd say he'd be a hospital. He was a hospital case anyway after his last one. If he fought me, I think could be a lot worse, really. But fuck it, you know what? I'm a handsome bastard, so I might have a bit of mud ahead of me.
Just gonna say, well, listen, pal, with that coupon, you don't want to be getting that lumped up, and that leads me nicely on. We're in the month of November. It's Movember, obviously, mental health awareness for men around the world. You've got the moustache. You've been one of boxing's biggest characters. The moustache, the bowler hat. You're very recognizable, Gary. But I've got to come back, and I'll be remiss if I didn't ask you this as well. When you had that weigh-in and you kissed your opponent, what was going through your mind to do that, mate?
Was that Anthony Fitzgerald or Chris Eubank Jr.? I kissed both of them.
I think Fitzgerald. I think he's thinking. I remember.
Well, you know what?
It was fantastic. You got to get in their head, Spike.
Is that just like the fight, get them mad?
You know what it was? He had like a very boisterous crowd there. It was a big rivalry between our cities. Traditionally, it's been a massive rivalry between Cork and Dublin, are two main cities in Ireland. And we were in Dublin. I was fighting him in Dublin. It was just full of Dublin people. All his inner city. He's from the inner city. Massive support, like so much great supporters he has. I actually became friends with loads of them and him too. Since I really hated him back then, genuinely. Like, I'll tell you one thing about me as well. Any of all the fights were like 100% genuine. I know, I didn't hear any of it myself, but I'd hear fucking rumors there was fake rivalries or some shit like that. They fake shit. I don't know if it's even true, but with me anyway, nothing was ever fake. It was fucking 100% full. And when he pushed me at it was a press conference, I think it was. I was like, what's how can I embarrass him most right here, right now? Like I could have fucking just given him a dig. But I said, fuck, I'll give him a kiss and piss him off even more. I gave him a kiss in front of all his missus and his fucking mates and all that, like,
Masculine.
That's the way to do it, mate. Because if you'd have punched him, they probably would have called the fight off,
Sorry?
If you'd have punched him, they'd called the fight off. So the kiss was definitely the best
move. Maybe so. I gave him a full force shoulder, actually, as well, just as he was walking around the ring before the fight. I really fucking hated him. That I could have killed the cunt that time, but
I love it. I love your honesty, Spike. Honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is.
I've actually told him that since, and you know what, we've become good friends now. He texts me every week. We text back and forward all these fucking. He usually tries to catch me out though on WhatsApp with those sex noises, the motherfucker. You know, there's ones.
Uh,
So every fucking time he fucking texts me, I have to turn the volume down.
That is fantastic.
oh, that's good. That's good. At least you got a
That's what
decent.
you want.
got a decent relationship.
It shows
Yeah,
that
so
you can
what's
turn
next
enemies
for-
into friends. You know, that's good. That's what you need,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, it's a
What's
good one,
next,
man.
Gary? What's next
Sorry?
after recovery? What's next
Yeah,
after
maybe-
recovery?
I'd
Are we
like
still
to-
going to see you again?
Yeah, 100%. I feel fucking great. I feel great. I feel so good. And you know what? I think I became the oldest Irish fighter actually in history as well when I fought my last fight at 41. And I was actually a bit partially inspired by Bernard Hopkins. I remember I was fighting in Los Angeles. I was with Golden Boy for a couple of years, and I became good friends with Bernard. And he's a very good speaker, you know. And he was at the podium and he was making the speak. He's a bit like Barack Obama actually. And I won't give you the long story, but he just pointed down. He looked at me. He was giving a big speech, and it was pretty grabbing the attention of the crowd. To be honest, really cool. And he said he looked down at me. He said, "I see O'Sullivan. You know, I see health." And he was kind of. I said, "Fucking me." There was many world champions like De La Hoya and all these fellas, you know, and he picked me out of the crowd and. You know, he said, "I see health in O'Sullivan," and it kind of inspired me. He was the oldest world champion in history at 49. I still believe I can become world champion. I've never lost hope, and I'm going to keep on trying. You know, so I got the power, I got the experience. I'm still very fit. You know, and I will fight anybody, and if I'm given the opportunity.
Absolutely, mate, and I
Yeah.
completely agree, 100%. Just a quick question: what did you think to George Liddard's performance against Kieran Conway in the middleweight division for the British and Commonwealth? Did you watch that, and what did you think?
I actually didn't watch it. You know, some night I watch a lot of the boxing, but sometimes I kind of, you know, I think I was saying earlier, I got kids and they're involved in lots of sports themselves, and I attend all their sports events, every single training session, every single match. I go to all their sports, everything, their swimming lessons. So it makes me miss out some nights, and obviously we get invited to these events. You know that. And I'm going to another one like on Thursday. And I'm going to see Ireland versus Portugal in Dublin. I've been invited by a Portuguese businessman, actually, funnily enough, to his corporate
Wow.
box. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know,
It is, mate. It is.
yeah, it's pretty because it's Ireland versus Portugal, and the Portuguese guy invited me to his corporate box. That's pretty cool. You know.
Special, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's good.
Mixing with high people, mate. Definitely.
Yeah,
You're doing well.
I'm actually
Yes.
back at the hospital tomorrow. You know, so I'm going to ask him will they cut the cost off. One, that's my first question because it's itching me and I want to get back to the gym. Secondly, I'm going to ask him can I have a pint of Guinness at the match?
Of
Will I be allowed
course.
a Guinness? But
Gotta be
because I'm
done.
not going to because it is detrimental to my healing, and I want to heal as best I can because I want to come back and do good in boxing. You know, so.
Yeah.
If they say to me, it's best off that I don't. I want to begin this, but I'd like to have one, you know. So I got to ask the
Absolutely.
surgeon.
Yeah. I mean, we all had our wild days, you know. You're as much as a wild man as the rest of us, you know. And
Oh, yeah,
who didn't?
100%.
You know, who did? You have, you know, do you have better control over yourself now? You're more disciplined, and you know, you like you said, you love to have one, but you're more disciplined now.
Yeah, I'm just. I'm not fighting anytime soon. Obviously, I won't be probably fighting maybe till March now with the injury. By the time I get back fully fit, I'd like a pint, but I'm not going to have one because I know for a fact is when you're healing, when your body's repairing, it's detrimental to your recovery. So I'm going to just give it a skip. But we go to the match Thursday night. You know, I'd like to have a pint and enjoy the match, and hopefully I'd like to meet Ronaldo as well if I get the opportunity.
Sneaky one.
I might have a better chance of most because of being in the Portuguese box as well. You never know, you know.
It's always a possibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be nice.
Well, thank you so
Anything
much.
else,
For your time,
Dan?
Bob. I think that'll do us, mate. We've took up 25 minutes of Spike's time. We don't want to keep you. We know you're a busy man. You got your family and stuff. Just want to say a massive thank you for giving us your time. You're an absolute gentleman. One of my favourite fighters watching over the last 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is. You're just a true one. You're a real one. So thank you so much, and can't wait for the rest of your journey, Spike.
I think I'm going into my name.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. Take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll get you on again soon when you win a world title, or when you win another fight, we'll get you on for that one. Let's get it.
Sure, man. Cheers, Steve. Thanks very much.
God bless, Spike. Take care. See you soon, guys.
I'm moving. I'm going. I can't stop. I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going. Can't lose focus. I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going.
Red corner